Okay, for a stencil print, the first thing you're going to need to do is to get the paint that you're going to need. It can just be normal acrylic, and you don't need to buy any special inks for this. All you need is your textile printing medium. Get this here, and then add a tiny bit of my yellow. So I'm going for like an old bony sort of colour to go with the print I'm doing. And then the ratios can change depending on what the weather's like, really, with the printing medium. Sometimes it can be a ratio of like 2 to 1, 1 to 1. I'm going to go for 2 parts paint to 1 part printing medium, just because the weather's a bit warm, and it should be okay. And then just mix all that up together, and it should be a bit more watery than it was. Not massively watery, it just needs to be thin enough that it'll be able to get through the tiny little holes in the screen. Once you've got your ink mixed, your medium mixed, you need to cut out your stencil. So I'm doing just the shape of that spine. So what I'm going to now need to do is glue it onto my screen. Now remember, when I'm actually going to be printing this, it's going to be flat down like that, scraping the squeegee across. So I can have this facing the way that I want to print it. All right. All I'll then do is just use a little Pritt stick or our cheap budget-friendly versions, and just apply that all over, especially paying attention to the edges on the inside where there's really small bits. You want them to make sure they are nice and stuck down. Otherwise, the ink will kind of bleed through where you don't want it to be. And then give that a few moments to dry on. Make sure it's all stuck down well. Up a bit. Just and wing. You will find that you end up using a lot more of this ink on the screen than you need, and so you can just scrape it off and then use it for your next print as well. I like to keep the little Tiptree jam jars from when you go for a nice afternoon tea, and just keep your ink stored in that so you can use it again. Again, save some money, nice and budget friendly, by not just disposing of any pre-made inks. All I then need to do is use my squeegee, again at a bit of an angle, put some pressure down on it and pull it across. And then lift that up, and there I have my stencil screen print.